Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 247 of the Fans of Power podcast. Tyler's done got me tongue-tied, and he's been laughing because we've been making fun of Star Wars Episode 3 before we started the show. But I'm Nathan Kennedy.
What a piece of shit.
Joined by Tyler Baker and the birthday boy himself, Joey Amato. Gentlemen, how's it going?
Hey.
Joe, you having a good birthday?
Going. Oh, fantastic. I ate a lot today, but I'm still going to try to eat even more. We'll see how many of these cookies that Emily baked and sent to me, how many I can eat before I puke. But I'll see what I can do. I'll try to enjoy them. I really do. It's not like I'm trying to eat fast, but I'm just going to see how it goes. But thanks for the birthday wishes. I see that now. Just to let you know, the participants in the chat room so far, I see Adam Gabbert, Fedmon, Grimbot, Jason Havlik. I almost said Joe Amato. Pac is here. P-A-K. Somebody new who reached out to us. So thank you for joining us. Bubhud69 and Zentron. So that's everybody I see as
like the wrestler Pac?
No, P-A-K, and it's a period after each letter. So, no, not like X-Pac, Tupac, or what are all the names he did? X-Pac, Pac, Six-Pac. Did he do anything else besides that?
Lightning Kid.
Yeah. Or are you thinking about a new Pac? Is that new Pac in AEW? Is that who you were thinking of?
That's what I was thinking of. Man, I was...
There's so many damn Pacs.
I let Tyler's camera just go all over the place. I had to fix that really quick.
And the whole delay was me. I sat there, and sure enough, right before we even started, what do you think happened? Dropped the tablet. Everything went wonky. I had to restart.
That was beautiful because we couldn't hear Joe, but he could hear us. So he pops up and he's just with his hands, and I can't hear shit. So I'm like, Joe, I can't hear you. And you'd see him just go like this and just and get really angry.
Like usual, that's how it is. But I did want to say, I want to open this box live to see what Emily sent, and I got some chocolate milk ready too for these cookies.
Oh my God.
And okay, so I'm gonna try not to knock anything over. You guys give me a second. I swear I'll try not to knock my tablet. Oh fuck! It almost happened.
See?
Come on, Joe. Don't fuck up. Don't fuck up.
I need to figure out something to buy for Joe that he can set his tablet on that will safely secure it to his table.
Because I'm worried I'm gonna knock shit over. I don't want to knock anything over. Hold on a second. And I thought it was Big Bad Toy Store. I was like, what the fuck did they send me? That's what I thought when I first seen it. I was like, I don't remember getting anything from Big Bad Toy Store. And then I seen Nathan's name. I was like, all right. So I'm going to be bending down a second. Sorry. Apologize.
Live commentary from Joe. Why didn't you just open the box before we started?
Because I want to do it live. So let's see. We got...
It's just all chocolate chip cookies.
All chocolate chip from Emily. Thank you very much. I'm going to start off with the little container first, then I'll get to the big one, but I'll be doing this as we're talking. And just let you know, Nathan, not that I'm paranoid, but I sprayed down the whole fucking box with Lysol, just, out of paranoia. Not that I think you're dirty.
That's fine. I think the cookies in the smaller one, if I remember correctly, she said that those were not as soft, so those might have a little more of a crunch to them, I think.
Okay, and one other thing, wanted to let people know that Nathan said before the cookies were sent, that he actually stole 2 of the fucking cookies. I was like, what an ingrate little bastard. I was like, how are you going to take 2 of my fucking cookies when it's my birthday gift? And he stole them. But, so it's 2 less I could have had.
Well,
I enjoy and I cherish everything.
I mean, she didn't, because the plan was to make you cookies, and then she was going to make a small batch for us, but she didn't have enough chips. And I was like, well, I'm not just going to send these off and not taste test them first.
Oh, wait, can I watch my mouth? Is Teresa your mother?
Yes.
Teresa Kennedy. Oh, I am sorry. I apologize for that, but thank you for the birthday wish.
She has made complaints to Nathan privately about Joe's, demeanor. Of course, she shouldn't say anything about me on the podcast.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, I don't know why she put it in quotation marks on there either. So, whatever.
Either way, I wanted to say thank you, and I apologize if I curse. It's only out of love.
I do it all the time. It's fine.
All right, I don't do it maliciously. So, all right. See if these are hard.
I thought he just slammed the whole thing in his mouth.
He just smashed it. He just smashed it against his mask. That's not working.
Don't even if it was soft, I would have did it, but it's slightly hard. But that was some good cookies. Thank you.
Well, I mean, okay. you have to think that she made these Monday, and I mailed them off Wednesday. So they're not going to be the freshest, like you care anyway, because you just eat shit from dumpsters, so it's fine.
Pretty much, that is good. I said thank you. So I will try to be slightly doing this throughout the show, so it won't be like, interrupting the whole time, but occasionally I'll shove one in my mouth. But all you guys in the chat room, I want to say thank you for all the birthday wishes, and if I missed somebody, I apologize. But remember, we'll get you towards the end of the episode.
This is what this is going to sound like the whole time. It's just going to be Joe like, oh, yeah, what do you think about Triclops and the cardback?
But towards the end of the episode, guys, stick around. We always take their questions.
And they better be good questions this week, damn it. I don't want to hear any bullshit about balls and all this other weird shit. I'm warning all of you. You ask any silly shit and Nathan decides to ask it, I'm kicking all of your asses. So.
All right, so however you want to start. Did you guys want to start off with the cardback art first or talking about Goatman?
I'm good with either. What would you guys like to start with?
Whatever you want, Nathan, go ahead.
Let's go ahead and start with Goatman, because I feel like that conversation might not be as long as the cardbacks would be. But Goatman, one of those characters, just makes one appearance, and most people haven't even heard of this character. Joe, you okay?
Yep, I got you now. For a second, everything went quiet. I thought it was my poor internet connection.
I saw it. What was it last week where you said poor internet and Tyler said emphasis on poor or something? Is that okay? I think that stuck out to a lot of people last week.
Oh yeah, like Curtis Anchorman said it too. But no, literally, when we were talking and it froze for me, it said it right in front. It said poor internet connection. You gotta get better.
Skype, you gotta get better internet. I want to get this out of the way too. If you guys see me like fidgeting like this throughout the show, I got that new desk. And you have to understand, my old desk, I've had that since I was 12 years old. So I've been used to sitting at the computer a certain way for 20-some years, right? But I'll go ahead and show it off. It's just like, just like a little white corner desk. There's the PC tower, of course, this monitor. But I also have a second monitor that I have to get a new connector for, because I don't have another HDMI port on the back of my PC tower. So yeah, if you see me moving around, it's because I've been so used to having the keyboard like right in front of me in a little tray, and now it's just off to the left. So everything feels really strange. But yeah, we'll go ahead and we'll talk about Goatman, which was in a Golden Books, and that's it. There's nothing else that's been on this character. I'll go ahead and get this popped up. What did I put that under? I think I put it under here. Here we go. So this is the main image that a lot of people have seen from that Golden Book. Goatman also appears on a couple other pages, but this is sort of the main one, and honestly the best looking one, where Beastman's kind of standing there. He's knocked Fisto on his ass, and Goatman's just standing in the background. But the story behind this too is that, and if we're going by the classics bios as well, which I know that we usually don't on this show, it's kind of implied here as well that like Goatman is sort of like a henchman for Beastman. And I'll go ahead and throw this question out to both of you guys. Do you think that would be a direction to go? Would you make Goatman like maybe a one-off villain in a Filmation episode, where it's sort of that thing that's implied with like the legend of a Goatman anyway? Like,
I like that Beastman actually has somebody that he can control, because he's always been under the control of Skeletor, and he's said things to Skeletor like, one day. So I like that Beastman has somebody that could be his henchman, because I don't see Beastman as ever being a buffoon, even though that's how it seemed like at points that became in Filmation later on, especially when they yucked him up. But yeah, I mean, there's so many damn standalone characters throughout Filmation and other parts of Masters Universe. Like, why does everybody have to be standalone? So for me, I'd love to see Goatman be somebody that is Beastman's, like, right-hand guy, or somebody that serves him. I like seeing Beastman have a little bit of respect, to control somebody, besides animals, as we know he can do. But that's my quick opinion. But what about you, T-Rex?
I was not a fan of Beastman having a lackey like that. I when I read it in the book, I just thought Goatman looked too dominant to be someone who's a lackey to anybody other than Skeletor. I had a hard time wrapping my head around that. Not to say that Beastman is not capable of such things, but I just felt like a guy this unique, and he's standing around like in Snake Mountain with with Whiplash and I forget who else is in the same panel when they're looking down. Oh, Whiplash and shit. Well, they're looking down in the cauldron, of the pool, that Skeletor has in various stories. I just thought the character looked way too badass to be, that. I mean, even like below that. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could almost say like he's someone Beastman's brought into the fold. Like, hey, I got a new recruit Skeletor. You want to give this guy a shot? I mean, he's ferocious. He's pretty much a human battering ram. There
wasn't enough personality. I mean, I think that's the thing is we didn't, since this is his only appearance, we didn't really get much out of him. When he was there, bam, he kind of got defeated quickly. But like you said, as you've seen in the Secret of the Dragon's Egg, book, there was a lot of other unique creatures that were in there. It just seemed like there was so many one-off and different things that for me, I just thought, okay, it's cool. I can see him, like being somebody that works for Beastman. For me, it was just different because we didn't see much of anything like that back then in the books. But there's a lot of other characters, like there's that kind of wolf guy, and I think I even made up some crazy bullshit like bio and name for him years ago because I was like, hell, if they made Goatman into the figure, I'd like to see this guy as a character. But I mean, I can see what you mean. The thing is, he does look badass. He looks real dominant, which is why it's so sad that was it. His one appearance, got his ass kicked. That's all. It makes you think. Was this character planned by Golden? Was that somebody that, the artist, did he just draw him up and they thought, hey, let's just call him Goatman? I mean, I don't know how much free range that these artists had back then. We know that some of them can draw on unique characters. So I wonder if the artist for that book, if he did up Goatman or if that was always planned by Golden from the beginning. I never knew.
I mean, they've done their fair share of a few original characters here and there, like in the hardcover books and the softcover Golden books, like the Super Adventure books and things like that too. So I'd say it was probably something that they probably saw the design on, because I think Fred Carilla did the artwork for Secret of the Dragon's Egg, which he did a lot of those. And that I feel like the second batch, that first batch is always like those first four, and then I feel like anything after that is like Fred Carilla's run.
The inside, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I think the inside art of that was not Fred Carrillo. I felt like it was Juan somebody. It was a different artist. I can't remember his name, but son of a bitch, I think it's Juan something or... Oh, hell. I can't remember. You could keep going, and I'll tell you what, I usually always have the books around me. Go through a couple. I won't knock anything over. Let me see.
Looked like it was starting to scoot a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I like how
it was Luis Eduardo.
Oh, okay,
Barreto,
yeah, I recognize it now. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little different.
Luis Eduardo Barreto. Yeah.
Yeah. But
either
way,
I mean, it's
a phenomenal
job. But so it's Merman. That's what I thought. I thought it was Merman standing next to Whiplash and Goatman. But yeah, my apologies on that correction there too. I'm so used to Fred doing so many of those books. But
yeah, he did a lot. Yeah,
he did a lot of them. But obviously, in the early days of the org too, like Goatman was a relevant character. And that I felt like back then, that's when you had a lot of hardcore fans back then. I feel like they've become extinct. Today, I know people listen to this podcast. You better know who he is. If you listen to this podcast, this is not just your generic. So I kind of like to think that obviously he's not well known to your casual fan. Anybody who's seeing Origins on the shelf for the first time, oh wow, look at this new. They're not going to know who Goatman is. But people who listen to this podcast, people who go to He-Man.org, and I'm sure some of the Facebook groups are familiar with who Goatman is. But I just feel like anybody that's part of Skeletor's roster, I think should be depicted in nothing short of somebody that's very formidable, like someone that can go toe-to-toe with, most of the heroic warriors and give them kind of a run. I mean, they're all going to get beat in the end because that's how these stories are. But
sure,
a lot of potential with Goatman. I used to write him in stories when I get so fixated on the roster and never actually write the damn story because I didn't want to leave this character. I didn't want to leave this character. And I always make sure Goatman was included in my lineup of at Snake Mountain, Skeletor's in his throne sitting around with, and I'd start naming characters out the ass and never actually got around to actually writing the story because it'd be so fixated on making sure I included all my favorites. And
was that something you did in high school, or was it after high school when you did that, or what?
This is fifth grade.
Oh, fifth grade? No shit. You really like Goatman that much, huh? Well,
yeah, because that's how I the library in my elementary school, still had books left over. I mean, because I started at that school in '89, so a lot of the stuff that was there was all stuff from the '80s. in about 4th or 5th grade, I started wandering towards the, I guess, more older kids section of the library, it wasn't a big room.
Young adult section.
What's that?
The young adult section.
I guess you could call it that, but they really didn't have, I mean, they had like a few movie books and stuff like that. And I just happened to grab this one book and pull it out and saw the Rock Warriors. And in this section, these other golden books, Secret of the Dragon's Egg, Magic Mirrors, the Rock Warriors, and the Sword of She-Ra were all scattered in various parts of this young adult section. And
cool.
It was just, I had no idea about any of these books. So to walk in, and I was afraid to tell people that I was checking out He-Man books because this is like 1994, I think. So it was frowned upon to like Power Rangers. So I was going to get made fun of for checking out He-Man books. So
I remember that so vividly, and it's so silly when you think about it, though, because we're 9, 10 years old and we're into Power Rangers. To me, that seems normal in an age range, but I was in the same boat. You couldn't let any of those kids know. Otherwise, they'd start making fun of you. But the funny thing was that some of those kids were like, I watch Power Rangers too. And I'm like, well, then why are you fucking picking on me? But they're like, well, we're making fun of you. I don't want to be thrown into that mix. I understand that, but what?
Yeah, it was like, the thing was like those kids that made fun of it, like sports or cars or motorcycles or all the generic bullshit. Sports are great, but I give two shits about cars and stuff like that. But it was just, if you liked any of that stuff, it was just kind of frowned upon. And I was, scared to death to like let anyone. And there was kids I would like trade old toys with back then, too. That I would trade current toys for their He-Man toys if they didn't want them. I had to do that in secret too. But that's how I found out about Goatman, was just by accident. Just stumbling across those books, and I would have to like quickly run up to the counter and check it out, or if we were allowed to leave class and go down to the library, I would do that and then hurry up and run it back and put it back in my book bag for, anybody like, hey, he's got a He-Man book. Let's all point and laugh at him. And
were you ever tempted to steal the books and keep them at home?
No, I wasn't like you.
Oh, no, wait, I feel like there's a story that's about to come on here. It's Joe, how many?
Oh, I'm sure Joe just wants to. Well, there was this one time that I really just wanted to steal something. I didn't care what it was, even though it was free and they'll let me check it out for free, and I could. I wanted to steal it, as if like Joe was just rubbing his elementary school nipples about stealing, those fudge books, or I'm trying to think of some. Oh my God! Yeah, any of those bullshit books we were forced to read in elementary school. Like, oh God, you got to do a book report on this bullshit.
No, I never did that with a book at all. I never stole anything when I was a kid at all. I was pretty much straight and narrow, all good. Anything I got was all honest. Buying things, and I never did any stealing in school or through the neighborhood.
Now, Joe, you know very well that when you lie, you're going to go to hell, and you've already told us before that you have stolen stuff plenty of times on this podcast. So clearly, you're on the highway to hell.
Well, I was a kid, and like I said,
God does not care about how old you were. He only cares about the fact that you were sinning as a child, and you knew what you were doing.
I needed Hordak, though, so I took, like I said, the girl from the neighborhood, I had her She-Ra, and I traded that off for Hordak. I told her I put it in her screen door, and somebody must have stole it, but years later, I repaid her.
Which was you, right? Back. You're the one that stole it, right? You hired yourself to go steal this, that way you were clear. And,
it was the only way I could get him. He wasn't at the store. That's the only figure I couldn't get beyond Ram Man, which I had to actually trade something with a buddy.
I had to go most of my childhood without any of the main cast of characters. And you're stealing characters, man? Like, you should have lived in my shoes for about a year. Because you guys had to move on, start playing Nintendo and killing He-Man for me as I'm calling like, oh my God, this is awesome. You guys are like, man, fuck that.
Well, I mean, it happened. It just couldn't help it. Like
I gotta play Boulder Dash.
After He-Man was done, that's when I just started moving into video games and started moving into girls. So I was out of all the cartoons and the toys, and I missed so many things. So yeah, but I'm a good guy, not a bad guy.
And Zen Brown brings up a point in the chat. You eating those other kids' lunches is the same as stealing anything. So yes,
it's different though. It was only taking a little bit out of each little baggie of their.
That didn't belong to you.
Well, I mean, how can they fucking eat? I was hungry. I went there when I had to do something. When the teacher told me to go in there, I would just sneak into lunch, take out like maybe 5 Doritos, eat them, go into the chip bags. I never ate the sandwiches.
You couldn't go to the cafeteria and ask for like a free extra roll or something. You had to go to kids who had done nothing to you and take their food.
It was.
Couldn't you give us some
cool.
sort of like sappy, sad story about I don't know that your lunch was eaten by an alligator out in the back alley or something like that. You got nothing to eat, and you're more likely to eat your own boogers if you don't get something for free here, people. Or
but honestly, I was, like I said, I was always a good kid. I didn't do nothing bad. It was just a couple chips here and there. Nobody was the wiser, and they all got to eat.
You kind of like Winona Ryder, how she was like addicted to like shoplifting and stuff. That's kind of how you were. I think you were just addicted to stealing stuff that wasn't yours.
We gotta get back to Goat Man. I swear I'm not a thief. That was only when I was a kid. I was like 10 or something. So, well, I mean, I was younger when
I think you still do it now, Joe. You probably wander around to like soup kitchens and all kinds of stuff, stealing lunch from people who were just unsuspecting and just.
Oh shit!
Give me that.
All right,
well, Nathan, do you have any questions about Goat Man or anything like that?
I mean, you guys kind of started to cover it. I was going to ask you like your first exposure to the character, but you already told us about going to the.
Yeah, it was, and I just I would go back and check that book out an awful lot, and between those three books, I mean, it was an exciting time because I just felt like I was being introduced to parts of He-Man that I had never. I mean, seeing stories and seeing characters like Jitsu and Webster and Buzz off of one story, and Secret of Dragon's Egg, where you've got a gauntlet of villains being used, and then Magic Mirrors. The book opens up with this big ass battle, on the rocks in Eternia. I mean, like God, it was an amazing time to just discover the stuff by accident, and then to find out years later other people liked Goat Man and thought he was an interesting character. People were doing customs of him. I haven't seen a whole lot of like artwork. Like I'd love to see what Kevin or Axel
fan
can
art.
Do with.
Yeah,
fan art. I mean, it's some of the characters that I really like a lot. It's really hard to find fan art on like Dragoon, Azrog and Spydra, Colosser. I've seen a few things over the years, but for the most part, a lot of the characters I really really like. I mean, they are known, and I think people like them. But you don't see a whole lot of like fan enthusiasm to put them in some sort of fan art, so to speak. If it's a drawing, a figure, it's very rare do I see any of that stuff. But it was so cool that Goatman did get his own figure. It was way down the line, but it was really cool that I was like, oh, this is amazing to finally get that. It's and I think people were universally glad to see him when it was announced too. It wasn't one of those like, oh God, like you wasted a slot on Goatman. I'm sure there was some dickhead out there who probably did that because there always is. But I think he's universally liked. He's just not universally known.
I'll kind of.
Yeah, he's somebody that would have. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say to segue just slightly sideways from that because Tyler and I got on the conversation a little bit with me telling him like, oh hey, I got Arrow and all these other classics that are on the way from eBay that I paid way more than I probably should have for. But we got to talking about how that model was laid out and kind of how Tyler's saying, someone out there was probably, oh, no, Goat Man, you waste a slot on this. And the way that those were releasing at the time, I know Tyler went through that often. It's like, why are we getting this character now? We need like X, Y, and Z before we ever get this character in this line. So Tyler, did you want to go ahead and kind of give a refresher of that, and you and Joe could kind of bounce off each other a little bit with the how that went, because maybe some of these guys, because I know a few of them have also posted like, hey, I'm just now getting into classics, and even though we're spending more money, at least we have access to everything that we want. You guys were having to like wait month after month, and this line went on for years. So that had to be frustrating because I looked at the release. I'm like, how is this character getting released in like 2015 and not way back in like 2011?
What seemed to be the norm for not the first year. The first year was because Mattel didn't know what they had on their hands. But after the first couple of years, it got to where Mattel was really taking notice, and then we start finding out who Scott Knightlick is, and he's the brand manager on the line and making all the decisions as to like he's the reason like Scareglow got bumped up in the rotation. We kind of figured we'd be getting like the first two waves, and he mixed it up, and that was really cool. But then after that, we get some random characters, and then you start hearing questions about like we need this many subs. to keep the line going. And then Scott's saying, hey, here's the Star Sisters, here's the Fighting Foemen, here's, Ular. Can't even have to say that dumbass name. And all these other characters that if you want to get the sub exclusive or this particular character, you have to buy the sub. And if you don't buy subs and it's not, doesn't meet that quota, then we can't continue the line. So you always felt like you were dealing with scare tactics into buying figures you don't want. That some of these cost a lot of money. Like, the Star Sisters were not cheap, and you were forced to buy them.
How
just
much?
So you could get your web store. And
how much was the subscription?
The subscription itself was about the price of a figure, which was like $35 to $40 at the time.
Okay.
And then you had to pay for the sub exclusive, which could have been Shadow Weaver, or I'm going to call him, original He-Man. I'm not going to call him fucking Ular. God, I hate that dumbass name. It's stupid. Well, multiple He-Man bullshit.
Well, was it just a every month you're having to subscribe, or was there like a set, like you can subscribe for the whole year?
No, it's like one. Yeah, it had to be a year. There was no like if you wanted any of them, you had to buy all of them. And that was the hard part, because there was people who didn't want all of them. I wanted most of everything, but when you're constantly being told, and Joe knows this too, because Joe finally he threw his hands up because they got expensive and they weren't honoring putting the meteor orbs in. But we got Fighting Foemen bullshit and Neptune.
We're lucky enough to get the
Decker.
unnamed one, and the unnamed one was a great exclusive. That's what pissed me off.
That was a sub exclusive. We weren't told what that was until after you had bought it.
But we were promised this is going to be something so amazing. That's how they kept stressing. It's going to be so great. It's going to be worth the wait. We see. I was like, what in the fuck is that? It's just that what pissed me off is, like I said, we got a lot of shit figures that, like you said, most people didn't care about. But yes, I mean, the only way you're going to get the ones maybe you really like is by subbing up to get them all. But so we got the garbage ones, and then people would sit there and complain. They were like, I don't want the meteors. And like I said, it's only certain areas that I think they were targeting to where they were going for polls. I always said it's good to get polls from one spot, but you should be polling everywhere, because where I was going and on social media, I mean, there was thousands of people that would want the meteors. I was like, why wouldn't you want these? I was like, oh, well, nobody knows them, but I want Katrina. I was like, okay, let me just say something. Katrina was in one episode, and you're making it seem like that appearance was more than the Meteorbs. I was like, the Meteorbs, which had action figures back in the day, which had amazing, beautiful, that beautiful poster from Earl Norham. They had their own issue of Star Marvel, issue 2. I mean, there was plenty for the Meteorbs that people knew of them. And I said, okay, you guys complained at one time, Snout Spout sucks. I hope he never comes into Classics. I hope that Rio Blast never pops up in Classics. They wouldn't look right. And then they come and they're like, you know what? Damn it, they look good. It's like, yeah, because the Horsemen work their magic on anything. You don't think they can make the fucking Meteorbs look amazing? And that's what pissed me off, is that we never got them, but then we'd keep getting, like Tyler said, some of these shit characters out of nowhere. Like you said, Ular. It's like, oh, that's fantastic. Oh, let's have Snake Man at Arms. Everybody was clamoring for that fucking figure.
Son of a bitch. God, no, we were all forced to buy that.
I hate that fucking figure.
And knowing that Scott was making all those decisions, I want this character in the line. I want this character in the lineup, and I was so thrilled when Rose Scooble sat down with him and they started questioning him on the choices that were made. And Scott's like, "Oh no, I've seen artwork for Neptune all over there." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about, man?" And I'm sure it was probably some bullshit crayon drawing he did, or he saw one person. It was just like. And it's a shitty episode. Like, go back and watch it. He doesn't do jack shit in that episode. And yet he is trying to, validate that, no, it's justified to bring Neptune into this storyline. Like, no, it's not. Like, and I remember I was so mad at that one. I was so mad at Snake Man at Arms. It was just this obsession of bringing in these shitty variants. And yet, again, we got to meet this quota, people. And by this point, Too Bad hadn't come out. I was trying to think of some other, like Ninjor hadn't come out. I mean, there were some other top tier characters. Hell, the Sorceress was further down into the series. Like, every year was this constant. You had no idea if this line was going to continue. It always came down to the wire, and then you found out, oh, we're going to prolong the subs, and you found out, well, they met their quota. They're just going to keep it up. And it was like that every year, that you're being scared into thinking that even though you put your money down, There's no guarantee that you're going to get the 4 or 6 figures that they released, and then you had no idea what the rest of the year was going to be. That was another gamble. Joe and I, we'd see at San Diego 4 figures in the sub-exclusive and maybe a Beast. And then the rest of the year would be announced in September or October, and then another batch would be announced in February. So you're constantly waiting to see what was coming out, and you didn't have a choice. You had to buy. Once you bought that subscription, you were going to be docked for everything coming in that year, and and a lot of people couldn't do it. And then Joe would tell you to eat top ramen and live like him. You could, get whatever you want. And
that didn't even work. That worked for me at some point.
Yeah.
It didn't work. It seemed like the prices went, up slightly. And I was
They did go up. I would think at one point they were $25. I think.
When they first started, they were super cheap. I thought they were 25, and then I thought by towards the end, didn't they go to 35, almost 40?
35 was I think the max price. And then Super 7, I think it rose up even more with Super 7.
Yeah, Super 7 even more, but I even thought there was a new tax that was starting to come in that wasn't there before. I was like, I can't do this no more. I can't, because by the time you got that figure, it was almost close to $50. I was like, I can't do this. So I was out. I think the last 3 years of the line, I didn't even collect. I was like, I can't do it no more. And then now you see how it is just online.
Yeah.
Just everything.
I was going to add, I mean, it's shitty how that model was set up, but at least it's better than doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, what's even crazy I've seen or been a part of, Nathan, was, now that's weird. We heard about, they'd meet all the subs, bam, and they had a meter they'd fill up, and bam, all right, you're going to get the subscription. But then when those figures started popping up at Big Lots for $10 a piece, everybody's like, what the hell? I thought that you guys met it, or there couldn't be. Actually, what is going on? And, I mean, there was like Moss Man, tons of She-Ra stuff. I mean, not She-Ra, but tons of Princess of Power, tons of new adventures. And, I mean, they were just flooded in there. I was like, I didn't understand. And now you can go to eBay, and they're expensive. Like, I remember getting like maybe 5 to 10 Moss Mans, and now I go to eBay and I think that Moss Man on card, he's another high one. It's bizarre. I never understood it, but $10 half them figures were going for over at Big Lots, and look at the stuff. I don't get
those were the first classics I got, because Tyler's like, they're at Big Lots, go buy some. If you want to get into the line, just go ahead and get these. And I went and picked I think I spent like I think it was close to $100. I think I got like 10 of them. Maybe? I can't remember.
Yeah, because Grizzlor was there, Adora, Thunder Punch He-Man, Megator was there. I'm trying to look because I went and bought some.
A lot of flip shots there, or Acarius, or whatever you want to call him. Tons of him.
Yeah, Clawful was there.
Catra was there too.
Yeah, so I bought a few just for the sake of buying some. That way, not that they look. I mean, the card art is always so left a lot to be desired. I hate that they did such a shitty job with the card stuff, but I was buying to take out a package anyway. But, I'm glad I do have a few on display here, to support my favorite characters and things like that. But it just kind of left you wondering, and you just kind of feel like we were being told a lot of, and I'm sure there's some other details that we're not privy to, and we will never be privy to, but it just always made you feel like we were being swindled a lot of times, that you're always being tricked out of your money. You couldn't be told, and I'd have been happy with this. Of course, I would have bought it no matter what. But it would have been nice to have been like, okay, we're giving the first 5 figures, and then there's a list of the rest of figures that would round out the rest of the year. And we won't see them till February, but we knew who we were getting. So you know that Too Bad, Ninja, Squeeze, and Faker, or Faker or Buzz Off or something like that was coming in at the second half of the year. Like, at least it told you in advance, this is what you're subbing up for, this is what you're going to get. And we were never given that, unless they would throw like somebody's weapon in the case and someone had to be at San Diego to see it. That's the only time you'd ever be told somebody was coming that was not announced. But other than that, you pretty much just had to bite the bullet and accept it all. I think the created character thing, that was another bullshit one. You had to buy all of them to get any of them. Fortunately, I had a friend who did sub up, and I think there was like limitations too. Like, if you bought a sub, you had the option to buy multiples of other characters, I think, at one point, because I think it's how my buddy
They
Matt
did do
did.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but as long as you subbed up, then you could get the multiples or extras.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got to create a character. I think that there might have been only 2 figures that anybody would have fucking wanted: Drago Man, and those who probably would have wanted Fearless Photog that they didn't get.
Those are the only 2 I wanted.
Exactly. The others is like, nobody gives a shit about them. They're the most worthless things next to that damn unnamed one that I could think of.
Yeah, and all of those were just in-house creations. You know, hey, if you submit, well, give us a design for free, we'll make it into a figure, and that was just like it. I'll never understand the logic behind that, and you know, forcing those characters into the mythology and making them like prominent characters in the downloadable mini comics and the shitty mini comics. It was just, and that's the kind of stuff that put Scott like in a bad light with me. You know, yeah, he did carry a big flag for the line and really wanted to succeed, and it did. And it was always a struggle going towards the end there because obviously lots of fans don't know who this character is and don't know who that character is. And, I really don't need him. And it's just like, all right, get the hell out of here. We ain't got no use for you. So it was really up to hardcore fans to keep it going, and all the way up to the last wave. It was pins and needles, not knowing if I was going to be able to get Too Bad or Ninja or Squeeze or anybody. I mean, just constantly never sure. It was fun, but super stressing at the time too. Always making sure you had money for it because those figures were not cheap.
I remember that.
Bills.
I remember that part with Tyler would look at me when I'd go over to his place, be like, "You're all right, man." He's like, "This is coming out. I don't know if we'll have money for it." I was like, "Calm down. I think it's gonna be all right."
Which was a concern all the time.
He's like, "No, but you don't
changed.
understand." And I'm like, "I do, man." But it's like, no. But I could see that being stressful because once the line had gone on for a while, you would want it to keep going because you're like, I need these figures in this form too to go with the rest of this stuff. So I'm glad that we got as many as we did. I'm glad I've been able to obtain as many as I have. I still got a handful that I need to get eventually. I'm not paying $100 for them on eBay, damn it. But I will get them.
Well,
eventually.
if I see any deals in groups for you, I'll definitely let you know because I always try to look through the groups, and if there's somebody that seems like they're doing a good deal, I'll send them send them your way or send you their way. Okay. So, but let's move to something good since we went in. We started good, then we got a little rant because we always get upset about some crazy shit. Let's go into 83 wave of the vintage Masters of the Universe figures card art of our least favorite to our most favorite art. So however you want to start. Now, how did you do it last time, Nathan? Did you just pop them all up on the screen, or did you show them from what you did? I couldn't remember what you did.
I got to adjust Tyler's camera here. I'm doing it a little differently this time. We're going to go each card back in sequence because I went ahead and just put up the whole thing on here. Hopefully it doesn't clash too much with what I have in the background of like vintage toys in store on the peg itself. But we'll start here with Evil Lynn. Get your guys in it. I'm going to say off the bat that me personally, most of the cardback art from Wave 2, I'm not a fan of. I think some of them...
Well, it's all similar. It's always He-Man in the background with the axe and shield, the sword and shield. You rarely seen anything different, to be honest, because, like I said, I still was going to do my least favorite to favorite, but, if you want to put up Evil...
Well, I figure what we could do is we'll talk about all of these as they're on the screen here, and then after that, we'll all give our ranking.
I like that. Okay. Well, I like this one. This one I really enjoyed. It shows, her mystical or magical powers. This one even is kind of showing her seeing the future. Not just like she's seeing a vision of, He-Man's over here. It's kind of like a future vision. And her using her, weapon that she came with. But beautifully drawn. Kind of spooky, too. But it's, especially comparing to all the other ones, as we're going to see here in a bit, at least it kind of stands out. I always liked this. It seemed like one of the most iconic pieces of art known for Evil Lynn. I can't tell you how many times we've seen this on other pieces of merchandise or even artists, current artists, redrawing that. And I always loved this piece.
I did too. It's always stuck with me. I thought that it's so colorful, but I just took it as like Evil Lynn spying on He-Man. Like she's using her wand to see what He-Man's currently doing at the moment, like to where she can, set her trap or put her plot into action. And I just some of them are just so vibrant, and that's what I always think about this. I always think like Axel did like a commission for somebody that was like a throwback to all these variations of Evil Lynn, and he threw in an homage to this one as well. I feel like I've seen it in a few other places too, but
it's been a lot, yeah.
There's something about this one that's very unique, and I think everybody always remembers the Evil Lynn card art, and it's just it's very simple. It's just her, squatting down and just wielding magic out of her wand to look, and like Joe thinks looking into the future. I think she's like currently like spying on He-Man. Could be interpreted a lot of ways, and that's what makes it interesting.
Well, I mean, no, true, but I mean, I didn't know if you remembered on the actual card art, it says she's foreseeing the evil future, so she's like looking into.
Oh, see, I forgot that the actual tagline said that. So, but I still look at it as that,
spying on him either way. I see
yeah.
what you mean. Oh, hell yeah. Either way, though, it's just creepy. It shows her magic, but I love how it's just drawn too. But again, yeah, it is probably one of the most memorable pieces of art for Evil Lynn, because, like you said, Axel and others, I've seen so many people redraw this, and then it popped up on a lot of merchandise back in the day too. Where they would like redraw that, put it on something different. Yeah. So it's been shown quite a bit, and it deserves to be.
We should just someone Photoshop. She's looking in there and just have Tyler doing something. Find like an unflattering picture of Tyler to put in there.
No, we need me like striking an awesome like macho pose. Hey, here we go. I walk with my power sword, and she's like, I'm gonna get that Tyler. I'm gonna seduce him, take advantage of it, and put him in a trap.
She sees me
like break out.
And I'm bending over into like a dumpster, turning over the other way, like looking or something. And she sees me in her.
She's spying on Joe. All you see is Joe's like plumber's crack, in the dumpster. He's like throwing stuff out like Yoda in Empire Strikes Back.
There you go.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts, Nathan, on this piece?
This one's easily like towards the top of Wave 2 for me, because the art on some of these, like I said before, is just not good.
There's not a whole lot of action going on in this particular. No. There's action, but it's not as dynamic as the line would grow. Well, hell, even because I told Nathan we won't cover the reissues that came out in this year, where the original group got their own card art. We'll save that for the first wave. Honestly, I think there's more going on in those, and there's actually less happening in a lot of those. But there's just more. I don't know. We'll get to that when we cover the first wave.
Exactly, because like now we're on the one for Manny Faces. For this one, I mean, I always thought, it looks cool, but I thought, okay, again, we have He-Man with the in the background thing. That had to be like known for at least 4 of these.
He-Man didn't need to be there at all.
No, but I think they had to draw the main hero, so he's at least in 4 of them doing this. But Merman, to me, I was always like, well, what the fuck? Manny Face is blasting. Merman looks like it's not even facing him. Like, he just keeps coming. I don't know if it's supposed to be a special armor, if they wanted, but either way, it's like, Merman's just coming like nothing's happening. So and there's kind of like a blank kind of face on Manny Faces. Like, it's his human face, but there's no emotion. It looks so like lackadaisical, if that's the word, like, I'm shooting a gun. I don't know. It could have been so much better, but, I don't know. I didn't get much of a feel out of Manny Faces. Well, I mean, there's 3 people there. There's some kind of action, but I don't know. Something was flat.
Well, the whole thing's just off, because Merman looks weird to me. Manny Faces looks like he doesn't want to be there, and then you just have He-Man in the background doesn't need to be there at all. Hey. I mean, on this though, I think the thing I enjoy the most is just where they're showing you, hey, you can twist the head and look at the different faces. That's kind of like the highlight for me on this card back.
Which I mean, this is my least favorite. I'm just going to go ahead and say it, just because it's not depicting the action feature that Manny Faces comes with. Everybody that gets a card art, at least with Evil Lynn, like, she's using her magic wand. Everybody else, like Ram Man, he's ramming into Beastman. Manny Faces, we should have gotten one small square, because we've seen it in others, where you see Manny Faces kind of like. Yep. Well, no, I say like no, just one square where he's like, you clearly see he's being like ambushed by Merman and Trapjaw, and then the big splash one is like you see his head turn into monster form, and then also or robot, but to show like he could that you turn his head and now he becomes a force to be reckoned with. Like,
yeah, like they could have spread it like a bang, bang, boom, like a transformation of the faces to do something, but then to engage into the battle. You're right. It's
like
just,
they did with Blast Attack, and I was trying to think of another one that has like multiple bubbles. Like King Hiss has multiple bubbles. Yeah, something to quickly depict the human form, and then you show like, okay, Extendar. Extendar's got one to where he's being ambushed, and then boom, he that's the thing.
Extends. I think because later on we got so action feature heavy that they definitely wanted to make sure they drew how these action features went. Some of the earlier waves, even though yes, Man-E-Faces definitely has an action feature, it was pre multiple splash pages, but I just thought out of all faces, the human face, like why would you have chose that? You should have chose something else. And if you're doing the human face, show some intensity. It's just he looks sad, like I'm shooting a gun. I don't fucking understand it. So yeah, this one is not one of my favorites out of the wave. Still great art, but just pretty flat.
I would have went robot face. If you're gonna go with one in the art, that's the one I probably would have gone with.
I often felt like the robot face is probably the one that gets neglected the most. Like everyone knows about the demon face, the monster form, but the robot always intrigued me in the Mystery Man-E-Faces episode. There was something that was very unique about that and what Man-E-Faces could do in that episode when he was in that form. So that's definitely something I feel like we just don't get enough of. So I think it's a good point made by Nathan on that.
Up next, we have Trapjaw, which what is going on with Stratos right here? By the way, like is he like?
He's got the shit out of him.
Is he scared or is he trying to intimidate Trapjaw? I don't know which way that's trying. And once again, I pointlessly have He-Man in the middle, like there, which maybe not so much on this one because this makes a little more sense, I guess. But the Stratos face kills it.
Agreed. I mean, I like how Trapjaw looks, but how he's swinging that way, I guess all you can assume is maybe he caught Stratos off guard. Here's Stratos coming off of that little mountain peak. Trapjaw turns, and then Stratos just jumps back because he's a chicken shit anyways, and his feathers are flying off. And that's what you get is that expression.
Go to hell, Joe.
Thank you. So he's like, oh, shit, because he's worthless. He knows, I can't do nothing. And this is the only time He-Man makes sense because he has to come out and back up Stratos because he's fucking worthless, and then He-Man comes in to fight. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Well, Grim said in the chat, it's like Stratos is like, he's got a gun. That's kind of like the expression that he does have.
Probably.
Well, yeah. Plus, like Trapjaw's like a one-man army in itself too. So it's like he's like caught them off guard almost. I mean, it's playing up the ferocity of Trapjaw, which he is supposed to be depicted as, one of the top of the heap. I mean, it just makes sense for him to. I mean, he's going up against He-Man and Stratos, so I think He-Man's taking cover and Stratos is like, holy shit, man. So
yeah, he's scared.
Okay, all right, we're done here.
Mainstream. He takes off the earpieces like
flip over the table.
This is going to be
podcast. This is
going to be Tyler's Steven Seagal conversation.
Yeah,
which
this is my Patriot discussion where I just get up and leave and blame it on the air conditioner.
I know that we do bring this up every so often, but in case you guys are new to this channel and haven't gone back to check, was this an episode of Beyond Retro? That it was.
Yeah.
All right, and we got on the topic. We got on the topic of Steven Seagal, and what happened? Was it like Tyler was saying that?
I know it was a miscommunication, and like Tyler said, the air conditioning here wasn't on; it was hot, and I was just.
He's full of shit. He was mad at me because I was not backing down off my stance of what year the piece of shit straight to video The Patriot came out.
It was just like I said. It was a little miscommunication. That's all.
It was not. You were just mad at me and got up and left. And you know this would happen. And he just placed it off as. Oh, the air conditioning. It wasn't on. I was sweating balls.
That's how it went. It came into the conversation of the release date of The Patriot. And Tyler said one thing, and Joe's like, that's not right. And Tyler's like, no, it's this. And Joe was just like, all right, I got to go. And then he just, like, hung up and left.
Yeah, and we didn't see him again until Fans of Power the next day.
And I was like, did that really just happen? And all right, well, I guess we'll finish the episode.
And I was just trying to say, no, I meant it a different way. So it was just me with my brain because it runs 100 miles an hour. I was meaning one thing, saying one thing. So that was just, it was on me. My brain runs too fast. But hey, look, we got Ram Man's card art out. Now here.
Hey, look, let's change the subject here.
Boom, I'm good like that. But no, you know what's funny is I didn't see Ram Man's card art until the internet came around, because beyond like how we were talking earlier about how I didn't have Hordak, I never got Ram Man in the store. I literally traded to get Ram Man from a friend. He never had the working feature, never had an axe, so I never seen the card art. And when I seen it for the first time, I was like, oh, cool. I mean, at least he's doing something. He's in action. He's hitting Skeletor with, and of course we got He-Man in the back.
Why? Once again, why? Why did they have to do that in every single one of them?
They just had to. They got to put the main hero. But what I liked is this was different. It kind of bled into the rest of the cards. Usually the card art, it has that line cut where it's at the top. But this piece with all the shadow and Skeletor's foot started going into all of the like the 12-back cells. So it was different, but I liked at least there's some action. You're showing what Ram Man does, and it was a beautiful piece. So this one, at least, I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, this one would have to be, once we get to the rankings, this one's a little higher up for me. Yeah, Skeletor seems a little off, but to get the perspective down, it all makes sense. The only drawback is just having He-Man there. Like, coming into battle when something else is already going on.
And really, I think this is really the only wave where they will force him, even in the reissue card backs, like, everybody, I mean, like Man-at-Arms, Stratos, not Zodak. I was trying to think, because He-Man's not featured in all, like, he's not featured in Skeletors, he's not featured in Mermans. Like, for whatever reason, the same card art was done in the same year, but the need to include He-Man in damn near all of them is not in the reissued card art, and I have no idea about that one. Like, there's something very, unique and special about this wave we're talking about. I think just because I feel like as I got older, I saw it used in, like, the trading cards, like with the stickers and stuff like that. It was used in other forms of merchandise. So I feel like it was a series of card art that was used a lot, like the Manny Faces, the Ram Man one. I feel like the Trap Jaw, like on one of the lunch boxes here that I got, and Joe's got. Oh, right over there. Yep. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. It's got the Stratos yelling, Evil Lynn's, using her wand, Ram Man says Skeletor. Yep. Yeah. So it's it was
they took basically all the art from this and put it on a lunchbox, but
pretty much. I'm looking at it right over here. So it's some of them obviously leave a lot to be desired, but it was used a lot.
Yeah, so I'm thinking because as you know, with like a lot of the later waves, we started getting, remember, variants of He-Man and Skeletor, and almost all the later waves, or at some point in some capacity, you got them. But this wave, as you know, there was no He-Man and Skeletor with it. So I think that they were just trying to push and let everybody know this is our main hero. And you'd think that, hell, Skeletor would be popping up as the main villain, but you at least get him on one of them. But I think it was just their way of trying to keep it into people's eyes about if they maybe missed wave one. I have no clue, but it's awkward.
But even then, it doesn't make sense, because you can see right here, like, when they show you all the figures at the bottom, He-Man is at the top left.
No, I mean, it's a good point, but it might have just been something Mattel said, hey, you got to keep drawing the main hero in some
Make sure those case ratios are really shitty. We got to make sure that He-Man and Skeletor...
Not much has changed.
Yeah, no, it hasn't. I actually went to...
Yeah, I don't want to get on a rant.
Yeah,
I don't want to...
Yeah, well, it's something that we've already said before. Up next is Triclops. I think this one's this one's my favorite. This one makes sense having He-Man there. We're showing him spying for Skeletor, and it shows you here at the bottom of, like, hey, you can twist this, and he's got different eyes. He can see around corners. He can see everything, kind of thing. So
it's dynamic, though. It is. You're right. It's dynamic. It's showing him his abilities. He's spying on him. At least He-Man's not in the coming up to get somebody pose, but it sticks out almost like the Evil Lyns, because I think Evil Lyn and Triclops are at least my top two favorites of this entire wave. But I like it. I always fucking love Triclops. God, it's just, he always looks so cool. And the eye feature, I mean, especially when it started getting to the evil one, he just looked like he's so fucking pissed. So, yeah, this was always one of my favorites, along with Evil Lyns.
Yeah, anything with Triclops to me gets A+ for me. But I genuinely love the look of this. It looks the best. Like, I think it's drawn the best. Like, Triclops looked perfect. The angle of him being up on a higher mountain peak and watching He-Man and Battle Cat down below, and he's got his sword out. It's just perfect.
Yeah,
it's flawless, and just because of what the scene that's being depicted, it just it tells a story. And that's some of the great things about Errol's artwork is a lot of his artwork on the Cardbacks tells stories. This tells a story. Like, this could be a solo adventure of Triclops spying on He-Man, trying to stop him from getting to a particular location Skeletor doesn't want to get there, or something like that. But you could develop an entire story out of that card art, more than any of the others that we talked about. You could do something with Evil Ends, but I feel like everybody else is just kind of like random actions. This tells you something. And
Tyler, we do have something. We have something from Serial Geek, so we know who that is. He says, fun fact, Triclops' head was redrawn. It was slightly different when Errol McCarthy first illustrated it. So, see, you learn something new every day when you got Serial
From the
Geek.
Minister of Truth, man. And next time he's on, I want him to dress up like a minister. And that way when we reference his book, he's like reading from the Old and New Testament. Let us give the praise to our almighty, mighty James E. Talk, And then we pass around a collection plate and stuff like that and donate.
He's got to bless us before we start. He's got to bless us.
He needs to wear like something black with like the I want, like, when he comes, he needs to dress something like a cheap minister or something like that,
Reverend James E. Talk.
Reverend James E. Talk, and evangelist Nathan could play some
organ music,
church music, organ music or something like that. When thank you for your hour of power TV prayer here, people, and and Danielle comes on and she's like singing in the choir or something like that, and Joe's stealing from the collection plate, and
that does make sense, doesn't it?
I know. Joe's sitting up front like with a slingshot in his pocket, like suspenders and little shorts and like a little hat with a ribbon on, and he's just taking handfuls out of the collection plate. And then James has come and slap on the back of the head.
Well, James, I appreciate you watching us. I know it's very late for you, so I appreciate you popping on to. He's got to be drunk or something. He has to be. and he already says,
or really bored right now.
He loves the idea.
He loves the idea. So James, next time you're on, we'll have you all set up. And
I wanted to do that the first time he was on here. I even made reference and played a clip of In Living Color, and no one knew what I was doing. I was doing. When Jim Carrey and Damon Wayans were making fun of the TV evangelists, I played the opening of that. And of course, James didn't know what I was talking about, and Joe didn't help by not saying anything or acknowledging what I was doing.
I know. Fall out head with a clock in my pants, it'd be high noon right now.
Well, see, he gets it now, but when I did it then, I got nothing.
You need to keep that time to yourself, Reverend. But all right, let's get to the next cardback art, which is probably one of my other least favorites.
I think this is my least favorite. Like, at least the Stratos face is comical, but this just looks horrible. This is bad.
Don't get it at all. I don't understand the pose of Faker. What's supposed to be happening? He-Man's coming up. The angles look weird.
He-Man's face.
It just looks.
He-Man's face.
There is just so much forgotten. It's like I don't know what they were trying to depict here. Is Faker jumping back at seeing He-Man? Is he going to jump forward? He's looking kind of still at a weird angle. I just don't like
just with
this
He-Man
at all.
hunched over too, and he's like, He looks like a caveman right here.
Yeah. No, I don't like it. I don't even want to say no more about it because I don't like it.
One thing I did do as well, I do have the reissue of this one where the colors are a little bit brighter, and you guys get to see who all was in this wave with Scareglow and King Randor and everything. And it actually shows more about action features, as Joe's camera is going all over the place for me.
Yeah, that's okay.
But Tyler, what are your thoughts on this one? Do you think it's pretty shitty looking too, or?
No, I actually like it because it's Faker, and I just took it as like Faker's this unstoppable force coming in He-Man. Like that's I get your all's points. Like I can't argue that, but I got it. Where's it at? Oh, right. I ain't gonna try and take it off the wall here.
Don't have a Joe moment. Don't knock everything down.
Well, no, because I don't have to get up and just. I got the commemorative Faker right over here, so I could look at it if I really wanted to, but. But I liked it. I've always liked it. Hell, even Axel did like a throwback to that when he did the PowerCon print. I got it over here, but the poses are reversed, and they're a bit more dynamic. I think you guys would like it a lot more. He-Man's like, swinging the battle axe at an upcoming.
Should have been something a little more.
Yeah, but I like it just because it's Faker, and that's kind of the only reason I like it. Because I do like the character a lot.
Sure.
I can't argue that it's the most dynamic action scene. It wouldn't be in my top 2, but it's more higher up on the list strictly because it's Faker, and that's it.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess now it's maybe ranking time. Least favorite to favorite. So I think I have to go with. I don't know. I just Stratos.
Come on, we know that one's going to be last. We know that one's going to be last for you.
Well, my favorite is. Oh, go ahead, Nathan. Go on.
Well, let's all. Well, I'd say we could just kind of like go in order, but would we all universally agree that Triclops is our top?
Oh yeah, hands down is my number 1.
That one is my number 1 as well. I think after that, I would.
Real quick, for me, it was I liked Evelyn the most, then Triclops. Those are my top 2, but I just had a reverse order. They're both fucking awesome, but I go Evelyn then Triclops for me.
See, Evelyn's my number 2.
Okay.
I think Ram Man would be my number 2, and then followed by Evelyn.
And I put Rayman at 3.
Number 4 for me.
Faker at 3.
Number 4 for me would be Manny Faces, and then Trapjaw, and then Faker.
That's the same thing. I go to Joe's. I go right in that order.
I go Trapjaw, Ram Man, and then Manny last.
Okay. And damn, just like I said again, and it's not us, as you've seen. We're not knocking the art. We're just dissecting things that we thought.
No, the poses are not as exciting as we've seen in others. Like
because it's
the action scene's not giving you as much.
Right, like I said. I mean,
you get into 84. The 84, which we've already discussed. I mean, you go back and listen to that conversation. We took a long time.
There were so many of those.
There were so many. Wait till we get to 85, where we've got the Heroic Warriors, Evil Warriors, and the beginning of the Horde. We got a shitload of card art to talk about that.
Yeah, and then that'll be cool because I think the first time we did it, I just had all the art there for everyone to look at. But I kind of like going card by card and talking about each one, and then wrapping it up with a rank.
It did. It seemed like it was cleaner how you did it that way. I agree, Nathan. I like the way you did it.
Well, we do something like 85, though. We got a whole lot to get through before we even rank it. Like, we have to come up with something a little bit more different for that one. Like, this could work for the first wave and for 87. And maybe, 86, we got the Stake Men, the Horde, and the Heroic Warriors in that one. So 85 and 86 are going to be tough because we got a lot of factions to cover in those.
Sure.
So we'll have to come up with something a little bit more rapid fire with that so it doesn't get too monotonous, I feel like.
We'll figure it out. We always do. So now I guess for everybody in the chat room that has been waiting, please hit us with some good, interesting questions of anything from the mini comics, cartoon, toys, whatever it may be. Do that right here in the chat room right now. And while you're doing that, is there anything, Nathan, you wanted to say? I always pass it to you just to see if there's something you were going to ramble about.
Well, Lacey Dean did ask us a question on Facebook about our thoughts on the Mythic Legion figures, if we had any. I don't have any.
Did we get asked that last week?
Was it last week?
I could have swore I saw somebody asked us that last week on the podcast.
I can't remember. It all blends together. But I like them a lot. Some of them are really cool designs. I wouldn't mind getting them. The price point's not bad compared to some of the other stuff that's out there these days, but it's not something that I would have to just nitpick. I wouldn't go through and just buy everyone to have them. I would want stuff that would go on the shelf that could fit in with the classics a little, because some of them kind of veer off more into like a Lord of the Rings-esque kind of thing, and I don't think that they
have a lot of Masters of the Universe homage figures, which do look fantastic.
I think those would be the ones I would nitpick, because I'm like, all right, well, those seem like they would fit on the shelf with classics.
If I had the money, I mean, I definitely would have bought them along with the rest of the classics. I just didn't. I don't want to say it because you two are going to get pissed at me again, but I was gifted 2 of them, which was the Battle Cat version and the Skeletor one. So I'm sorry. And those
that's fine.
Really cool.
Joe's the one that gets all the stuff. That's fine.
Well, hell, you Nathan get shit too. I haven't got jack shit from anybody. I mean, you people just all you people can go to hell.
Thanks for the birthday wish, Robua channel. So happy birthday. Real.
I only had one mythic. I did buy one. I bought the Black Ram because to me, I took it as like an homage to Skeletor. It was a purple and black motif. And the Havoc staff has got a ram on there, so I took it as like an advisor, like a counsel for Skeletor or something like that. But the character's been misplaced over the years, kind of, because they're fragile figures too. So I have no idea.
They are amazing looking. They really are.
They are great. Yes, they are.
All right, and I was. Oh wait, real quick, I want to acknowledge Adam Gabber got me a really cool fucking birthday gift. It's in my hand right now. I've never seen this before anywhere. It's what do you call that? I don't know if it's sterling silver or what, but it's a Jason Voorhees mini statue. It's heavier than hell. I mean, really, you throw that at somebody, you could knock them out. It's that heavy. But
Joe's thinking about hitting people with it. That's the first thing.
Well, I mean, it's heavy.
And then so he can take their lunch. He hits them in the back of the head, unsuspecting, and takes their Ziploc bag of Doritos.
Wait until I find that hobo that's getting him some Popeyes. I'm gonna knock him out and take his food.
It's not gigantic, but it is heavier than shit. He got it from Russia, out of all places. This came from Russia. So thank you, Adam. This is awesome. I didn't have the note that you sent me by me, but I appreciate it. Thanks for the cool-ass Jason thing, because I've never even seen or heard of this thing. So
that's cool.
It's cool as hell.
But that also makes me think that someone should do, chess, but the pieces are, different horror icons or something. That'd be kind of neat. Have the board could be all
I've never
bloody
played chess. I'm sure it'd be cool, but I've never learned to play it. I can play checkers. I'm a simpleton. I'm a moron. So I can play checkers.
I can't play chess. Chess looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play.
Dude,
but give me checkers.
Chess is awesome. I have the Clubhouse games for Nintendo Switch, and Emily and I play, and I'm undefeated playing against her in chess, by the way. She thinks that she was talking all this mad shit before we started it, I played chess, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, yeah, I played some chess, too, and then I haven't lost.
She's Bonnie Fisher.
Haven't lost. But a couple things that we did get, a couple of requests. Michael Purvis in our group was asking us, or was giving up on asking us about the Return of Orko's Uncle or Not So Blind episodes for us to do a commentary.
I love how he says he's given up, but I didn't see jack shit about anybody requesting a commentary for Return of Orko's Uncle, which we had already done years ago.
Well, I guess now would be a time to either revisit that or do Not So Blind. And we also have one from...
Oh, Not So Blind? I don't think so.
We also have one from...
ask our Reverend E-Talk about that episode, whether it's worthy of doing a commentary.
Well, I mean, if I had the books right, I had to move the books because of the desk. I could have looked at it and found his rating. But we also had one from Captain Chronic asking us about a commentary for Wizard of Stone Mountain.
Yeah, that's definitely worth doing, and I'd love to revisit, Orko's, Return of Orko's Uncle, because that was, years ago. All this stuff's worth revisiting.
You got me now to ask you questions during it.
Yeah, we don't have Nathan's perspective on it, and Nathan has gone back and watched.
I have notes.
Azrog and Spydra.
Yeah. In
action since then, so he is familiar with that. So. Hell yeah! Anytime we get to talk Azrog and Spider and Uncle Montauk, I'm all over that, because the more spotlight those characters get, the better, in my opinion.
I will go ahead and say, let's go ahead and just stamp that now for next week. That will be one of the topics. So Purvis, you maybe you'll never get the other one, probably, I guess. But
no, not while I'm on here.
I'll do that one with Joe.
There's some commentators when I was so glad when Joe said he didn't like Golden Disc of Knowledge. I'm like. I just feel like there's certain episodes
don't bring that back up. We don't need Curtis.
Yeah, Curtis is in the chair.
I'm not interested in doing a commentary for it. Period. I'm just not, because I feel like when we're on here, I want to make the most of our time, and to do a commentary for episodes, I'm like,
Star Child will be in 2 weeks. So Zentron wanted to say, which race of
like Keanu Reeves right here on the podcast, free will, right?
Here we go from Zentron. Which race of people from the Filmation He-Man cartoon do you wish we got to see more of?
That one I personally can't answer, because I need to really absorb and watch more Filmation to give you a more educated.
There's a lot of cool races. I feel like we could have gotten. Is this for the vintage toy line, or just in general, or just?
I think he meant from just the Filmation cartoon, from the vintage Filmation cartoon.
I mean, but put in just that we never got toys up, period, or just wanted to.
I'm thinking he meant in context of seeing more in the cartoon of if we could have seen more of the widgets or seen more of any other kind of race in the cartoon. I thought you meant
that we never got in figure form or something like that.
No.
I mean, I always thought the Avion Warriors were always interesting to see, even though I don't like Reign of the Monster.
And you got to see they were different too, because you'd think that
Yeah.
like they all would be maybe like kind of monkeyish looking people, but then you seen half of them look like regular humans wearing goggles that were see through. So you got to see, I guess, a big variety.
I thought that was cool. I like the Tycons that were in The Good Shall Survive. Episode's not that great, but I just thought they were kind of an interesting insect people. I don't know, but I kind of think of like like Garn from Tale of Two Cities, and a lot of Queen Draka and Queen Belina. I just thought the more. I mean, there were just one shot characters, but I would have liked to have seen more of them. I mean, if we could have a whole discussion on that too. But races of people, I'd say more stories with the Avion Warriors, Buzz Off's people, would have been interesting as well.
Yeah, some of those insects.
I think more of the dragons, like seeing like Morningstar and like other dragons of.
They were memorable when they popped up and with their powers and some of the magic you didn't expect out of them. I always loved seeing when the dragons were doing something. So
yeah, I think seeing more of the dragons would have been really, really cool.
Okay, and Curtis Ackerman has one that's like, and I'm hoping what he says. He says, I hope the Four Horsemen will be involved with the Silverhawks coming from Super 7. Yeah, as if they were to make them in a classic style. Oh, hell yeah, I'd pray that the Horsemen would be doing those. It's if.
Oh, I'll blind buy every year. Like, you just tell me you're doing 4 or 5. I don't care what. That's something like, here, go.
I would return to collecting some stuff. If the Four Horsemen and they were doing those styles, classics for Silverhawks, I would be back in. You bet your ass. So let's hope so, because even Pac said, yeah, the Horsemen should be involved in everything. Yeah, they definitely make everything great.
Toy Fair in February. Well, Super 7 will have like a big announcement about that or something.
How badass! Because you can't have Joe Amato keep making them. I've made Quicksilver I don't know how many times and chromed that some bitch up. So I've made customs, but I want official ones. So definitely, and get the Sectars back. I want fucking Sectars.
Yeah,
anyways,
too.
Yeah, they would be fucking awesome too. I mean,
I want a Spy Drax.
Yep, Spy Drax, and of course, Prince Dargon. I mean, well, you got to have him. So, damn. Now I'm thinking too much, but thanks for that. Curtis Hagerman, this is only for me because they're not going to answer that. He said KFC or Popeyes. It's got to be Popeyes. KFC does not even exist. No chicken restaurant exists now. It's only Popeyes. I don't know how they do that.
All right, let me ask you this. You'd say Popeyes over Chick-fil-A?
You bet your ass it is that damn good.
You are a Nazi, man.
It is that damn good. I don't know how they get that crispy batter and flavor and juiciness. Holy piss. It's delicious. God, I could eat it every fucking day if I had the money. Now I'm getting excited.
No, I would go with Popeyes over KFC just because the quality of chicken at KFC is just hit or miss. Like Popeyes is usually pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. Now, would I put Popeyes over Chick-fil-A?
Yes, I would. Fuck that sandwich at Chick-fil-A ain't shit. When you take that Popeyes chicken sandwich, not only is it cheaper, but it's bigger. It's this big-ass fucking chicken sandwiches piece. Good God, it's like heaven on earth.
I don't eat fast food, but the quality of Chick-fil-A is about the cleanest on the entire market. Chick-fil-A's chicken nuggets, they are second to none. Their chicken in general is second to none.
Have you had Popeyes chicken sandwich before? Have you had that?
I never had Popeyes because it ain't around here, and frankly, I don't give two shits about having Popeyes chicken.
I think you get.
You know what I do what that stuff would do to my stomach if I had Popeyes chicken?
It hasn't affected me. Well, mentally, maybe.
That'd be like Jeff Daniels on the can of my bathroom.
Well, to be fair, anything else that Tyler eats other than his usual set of food tears his stomach up. So
that is true. I have to be willing to devote time to the toilet if I'm going to venture off my diet.
Otherwise, it's King of the Ring 2001 all over again.
Yeah.
No, but if Tyler says, if his stomach would get sensitive, I will agree that, yes, it's not as greasy, definitely, at Chick-fil-A. And if you go to Popeyes, it is greasier. It would fuck your stomach up. So, yes, agreed. I like grease and shit.
It depends, like, on what I want. Like, I love their Cajun fries. So, sometimes that gives the edge of Popeyes over Chick-fil-A. But Chick-fil-A is closer. I don't have to drive 45 minutes in either direction to get to a Popeyes. And one of those Popeyes is attached to a truck stop. So it has a tendency to be a...
Popeyes is 5 minutes away. 5 minutes away from the juicy tenderness, flavorful.
Not a sponsor, by the way. I want to stress this because I feel like that's one of our new gags. We have to talk about Popeyes every episode.
it'd be over if we became a sponsor and I got free Popeyes. Oh my God!
We need to make that happen.
I don't want money. I just want food.
I'll take money and talk the hell out of Popeye's chicken. Just give me the money. I'll say I eat it every day for lunch and even after my workouts, all kinds of crazy shit.
Oh my God. JSP said he asked a question. JSP, you got to ask it earlier because I honestly didn't see it. But of course, my chat might be out of order. That might have to be something Nathan will adjust.
I'll scroll up and see if I can find it.
And while you're scrolling, Jason Havlick said, "How do you think Eldor's book of living spells actually worked?" I mean, I guess it's something I never really thought of. Obviously, it's something that helped to invoke the spell with that, when Gray became hero. But I know originally he was going to have holograms. I would have loved to know, and I'm not talking about classic stuff. I'm not going to even talk about anything that him and classics. I mean, it's a cool little mystery. I mean, he was a powerful wizard, so just I don't know.
I kind of imagine like the images that we would see as holograms would be that they like if we would saw like ghouls or monsters or any that would come out of the book and would be cast upon whoever Eldor is trying to stop or something like that. That's kind of what I thought. Like whatever you saw would just come to life out of the book, and these spirits would attack the Snake Men.
Yeah, because the Super 7 one, they didn't give us any holograms of like what we were supposed to get. Right? Was it different?
No, it was just like little. I got it right over there. It's like little colorful pages of like the pre-Eternia stuff. Yeah, it's
okay.
All right, filler stuff.
Okay, let's see what we got from Pac here. Does anyone else feel like there's something off with the Origins line? I have Wave 1, but
you need to go back and listen to previous episodes.
Yeah, go back.
We'll make our listeners' ears bleed and piss them off by
we don't want to do it again. Yeah. That's when the ratio would start going to dislike. Yeah. Like I said,
I think the only time that we need to talk about the Origins line moving forward is when new waves are announced and stuff like that. There's no need for us to go and regurgitate the same stuff we've said the last 15 episodes.
You have to definitely check back, previous episodes. And like I said, I always gave my honest opinion. There's the ones I don't like. There's the ones I do like. But like I said, if people all love them all, great. If people hate them all, great. It's just opinions. But no, you're pretty much wrong, Pac. He said Chick-fil-A is his vote. Your vote is wrong. Okay, let's see. Come on, Pac. Chick-fil-A, shit. Grimbot said this podcast is brought to you by Popeye.
I think, because I had a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich yesterday, actually, and that is better than the Popeyes one. I'm sorry, but it is.
You are crazy.
It is. It is. The Popeyes chicken sandwich was nothing. It was good, but it wasn't anything special. Like the Chick-fil-A one. The Chick-fil-A one. I'm always thinking about that one.
No, it's good, but it's Popeyes. Popeyes is great. Damn, see, you got me all angry. See, now I'm going to get Tyler angry from the Zentron question. Zentron said,
wonderful.
Do you wish Star Child was in more episodes? There, it's your turn, Tyler.
Well, no. but I mean, it's due to shitty writing. Just not a very good story. I know James thought that she was redeemed. I forgot what episode she shows up in a season 2 episode, but I'm like, I really don't want to see it. But when Emilio confirmed that she did show up in a cameo in the Faceless One issue from the NYP series, it was honestly knowing that he did that, and she looks like a 12-year-old and not like this 5-year-old running around in a onesie and is just whiny with these two obnoxious races and shit like that. It's just a bad episode. But if somebody could, James could turn it around. I'm sure Emiliano could. Danielle probably could. Hell, I probably could if I really wanted to. But it's just when you got all these other characters that she would be at the bottom of the barrel. If I was given choices of we want you to revitalize this character, I would have to be down to Crackers the Clown and Star Child. I would have gone to the list of other Filmation characters before I decided okay, it's time to scrape the bottom of the asshole.
How about we, because we can fill a little more time here. If let's say Crackers the Clown was the one that you had to do. What kind of story would you come up with for Crackers the Clown?
Oh, God.
Can we not?
Yeah,
Can we just not
come
come
on.
up with a story? I don't even want to. No, I don't want to.
Come
I
on.
hate him. And the thought of him being
come
used
on.
in that multiverse, such a shitty, forgotten
Oh
stupid
yeah,
character. Like-
that's something I would have to say. Why do you want me to make a circus clown, which doesn't belong on Eternity anyway, into a valid member of the He-Man cast and family? Like,
if you guys also want to throw this out, if you want a Crackers the Clown custom, link down below. Hit Joe Amato up to make one.
oh yeah, Joe's done all these other goofy ass characters. I'm sure he'd be more than happy to pep it up for $300.
Yeah, but what would you do? Like, they're like,
nothing.
No.
He's a horrible.
Let's say you're put in a situation where it's like, all right, Tyler.
Wait, hold on, Nathan.
What?
I want to do it to you. That's your question. So you got to tell us, how would you make Crackers the Clown interesting? Because me and Tyler are not touching that shitty character. I want to hear you. What would you
I
do?
got nothing.
Of course,
hang on. So let's say they're like,
I would probably have to go down the route of writing him like sorrowful almost. Like he have to be a sympathetic character, something that like the character would not be like your traditional. Like he'd be someone who wants to bring joy in the royal court, but he's either dismissed or just not taken. He's not. I feel like if you made him a character whose story arc is like he just wants to be accepted by others, like this is more than just a clown, someone who's intelligent, but they just see him as someone who makes children laugh, and he's not somebody. Not that we say we put him at the forefront of a battle and he thwarts Skeletor. No, hell no. But something that would make him like the moral of the story is like don't just assume that people can't be something else, like that they're one dimensional. Like all he is a clown. Like there's somebody else there. Make it a morality tale. Like it wouldn't be like the A story. Like the main story would be stopping Skeletor, but in the midst of that, like is like he's trying to offer help or a possibility, like something he knows is. And Joe, you can hang yourself because this is like
I know you don't even want to do it. I can tell how you're talking.
But I'm saying if I had to do something, I would have to make it something along the lines of like, don't assume that anybody's, like don't judge a book by its cover, which they've already covered in the morals of He-Man. So it would have to be something along those lines.
What? I would make him. I think I'd make him more like how Doink the Clown was when he was first introduced. I'd make him evil.
The double side, didn't he have the good music, then it went dark or something?
Yeah,
isn't that how
I would have him be like a darker character.
But the whole clown look too. To me, that's why it's one of those things about He-Man. Like when they would try to, like the Toy Maker episode too. Like these characters that just don't look like they fit the dynamic or the visual style of He-Man. Like they just grab something from our day or from our time and throw it. And that's why I just felt like the Greatest Show on Train, not to mention it's one of the silliest episodes and ridiculous. But just Crackers itself just doesn't look like he fits in this world, period.
Well, what if you made him look more like a jester as opposed to straight up?
Well, like kind of like Acrobat, Acrobat, which was like the concept character that showed up in one episode of She-Ra. Like he looks like an evil court jester. Right. Plus, the name Crackers the Clown is such a shitty name anyway.
Crackers the Clown.
It's just...
That'll probably be the first and last time I get anything about Crackers the Clown from either of these guys, so hope you appreciate it.
Yeah, I my head hurts now.
Well, let's go to JSP with his question, and he said, if we could do classics again, would we distribute them through regular stores or through collector stores like comic shops? Well, honestly, JSP, I would prefer stores nationwide. If it could be Walmart, Targets, all places you can think
absolutely.
of. I hate the idea of exclusive shops. Like if you only could get it at a comic shop, because that means only this comic shop or that one, and then they're hard to get. Then people are getting pissed. Then the prices are skyrocketed. But if they could actually distribute them and have a good case pack ratio at stores for people to see, well, that's the thing.
That never happens, Joe. I'm going to interrupt you on that. You know damn well that never happens.
No, and it's true. They don't. But either way, I would rather it be a nationwide chain than just a collector shop like a comic shop, because then you're stuck at one place that you might not have in your area. It's going to make them limited, and it's going to make them go super high in price. That's the reason I'd want a difference with retail and that. I understand what you mean. You're right. They probably wouldn't do it right, but I'd rather it be mainstream. Hopefully it's reaching the eyes of more people that could see it, that grew up with it, and then maybe new people. But that's the only thing I could see it as, is being just stores, just like how you get the Turtles at most stores, or you can get G.I. Joe at most. Well,
sure.
But comic shops, if you were just at comic shops or those collector
Joe, do you
stores,
know what it's like out there? Have you been to retail lately?
No, I have. I've been to retail, and that's what I mean, and comics. And a comic shop for me would suck. We have maybe 2 around here, and if it would be a collector shop, I'd feel like we're reliving Matty Collector again, since they're a collector-only type thing. When you have it at comic shops, you're just limited, and I don't have many around here. I have more retail stores, and if I knew, hey, I could go to Myers or Target or Walmart or one of these stores to get it, at least it's more readily available for me compared to going to a collector place.
I mean, I would do the same thing and definitely make sure you put it there with the NECA stuff that's hardly ever on the shelf, so we could just admire that not being there as well, because everyone's just gonna go like,
oh yeah, well, they clog up the shelves with a lot of like Godzilla figures that nobody wants, and all these other shitty variants of other things that hey, we license this, buy this, and no one gives a fuck about all that, But
I would.
If it ain't gonna be for like online retailers like Big Bad or Entertainment Earth or places that specialize in adult collectibles, retail's been nothing but a pain in the ass, even for things like Turtles and G.I. Joe, Transformers, and for some people He-Man right now. Like, it's just. They don't know how. I mean, you got people who sole purpose of getting their ass out of bed is to go around and scout, adult collectibles, and to go either into it. Even if it was just strictly a comic book shop, at least you can go to the owner or call the owner, and they can order. I mean, because that's what I would do with when I would order the He-Man posters from NYP. I told them I want this one and this one of each. They would order them, and I would get it. And I mean, at least you were guaranteed to get it. And it's coming directly towards me. If I had to pay a little bit more, so be it, because I would rather go through, avoid the hassle of running around to all these stores in multiple towns and coming up with nothing, just to find out that Nathan's like, oh yeah, I found this character you really wanted. They only had one though. I got it for myself though, and I'm pulling my hair out, and
I gotta get one too. Gotta get one too.
Well, you got the only one.
Well.
Well, what if it was, like I said, like we have maybe 2 comic shops within a 30-mile radius of where I'm at, but them along with retail stores have started a new thing where I would try to get on lists for stuff, and they're like, can't get you on a list. I'm like, but why not? Why can't I be on it? And it was sometimes where it was like things with figures, it's because they only would order a certain amount, and whoever came in to get them would get them. I was like, but why can't I be on a list?
They will order this, and I don't know how. I'm just going by my experience with what I know. A lot of stores, if you want something, you go through they go through ordering services. Like if they're going to order, you pay it in advance, or sometimes they'll order it for you and you pay when it comes in. A lot of stores get the shaft on that, where they just no show after that. I just would much rather go through the route of dealing with someone, particularly through a comic book shop. If I had to pay an extra $5 or $10 total or something like that, so be it. When you're dealing with scalpers,
great. Like I said,
but we're also retail. Yeah, Walmart's right across the bridge from me. It's a hop, skip, and a jump. Yes, that is nice, but knowing I got to fight with these guys who are up the ass crack of dawn and just bugging the shit out of the guy who stocks the shelves at Walmart and Target and the Walmart in Dublin, the Walmart in Christiansburg, and all the way down down the road an hour in Roanoke and in Salem, trying to grab all these figures and just leaving all the ones that we all already own. Like, I don't want to go through that shit anymore because I don't have time. I don't have time to be
The same thing around here. Like I said, beyond Walmarts and Targets and Myers and comic shops, none of them will hold for people, or at least for me. But I've seen it where they weren't holding for anybody anymore. Because I guess my thing was,
did you steal from these guys?
Sure. No, but the thing is, back in the day, I remember when I could call the store and say, "Do you happen to have this?" And they're like, "It should be coming in a week." And I always said, "Could you put my name down?" Toys R Us used to do it. All the stores say sure, and they'd write. And when that figure came in, they're like, "Joe, we got it." And that's how I was getting a lot of the 2000X figures. They actually had me on a list, which was great. Then, for whatever fucking reason, I don't know why, all stores stopped it. They would not put you on a list anymore, including the comic shops, which just enraged me because, like I said, I don't have comic shops accessible as much as the other
I said
stores.
A lot of it is due to people who were just not buying the product that they were telling these guys, hey, will you hold this for me, and never bothered to showing up and buying it. So I could see why they stopped doing it, even at retail. That's why they stopped doing layaway a lot of times, unless it's Christmas, because they get stiffed with holding all this product that people never bother to come in and finish paying off.
Hell, you know what I figured is, like, why wouldn't they do like some of the game stores do? Because when you'd want like the upcoming new game, and they still do this now, you can always put $5 or $10 down payment onto that thing that you want to get. It's like, that would have been great. I mean, I would be more than happy if I went to a store.
GameStop too, even though it's a chain, but when they deal with toys, it is essentially like a specialty shop. Like, and I'm fine with that too, as long as I don't have to, spend a lot of unnecessary time running around from store to store. Like, I just assume. It's just, it is fun to come across something out in the wild. You're like, oh, wow, they got this. Like finding the Transformers Red Series for the first time finally last weekend. That was awesome. But, I just kind of feel like if I can get them all directly, I don't want to have to fight these scalpers who are just out there trying to, I hate scalpers. I hate them so much. I swear, if I ever find out I come face to face with a scalper, I probably will break my cardinal rule of, like, not being polite. Like, I hate your guts, man. I'd break you in two over my knee if I could right now. But if I didn't have to worry about getting arrested, of just that mentality of you don't want to get a real job. You just want to scalp all these things that we enjoy in our pastime and charge $100. All this bots and shit like that. Oh man, I just want to like pull a Sub-Zero, freeze them over my head, and just break them in half.
And I mean,
God, I can't stand those people who do that.
And the online thing's not any easier. Like
with all this bots and bullshit, and thankfully some of it have acknowledged like one per customer and stuff like that, which I'm glad they finally have done that with certain things. And it's just, it sucks that we're all adults here and we just want to buy these action figures to support properties and characters that we absolutely love, and we have to fight these. I think of that fat ass from Make Love Not Warcraft episode of South Park, just sitting at his computer like this. Had no emotion and just scalping all the G.I. Joe classified, all the origin figures you might want, all the Transformers you might want, Star Wars or whatever the case may be, and have it shipped right to his house, and he's going to charge you 3 times as much as what you pay for at retail.
I think we had talked about that before, that it was starting to, in a way, kill my
mine too,
wanting to even go anywhere and look for stuff anymore, because what's the point if you go and it's just a barren wasteland all the time and it's already gone, and you look on eBay and all the prices are there. I mean, sometimes
which makes buying stuff at retail that much more difficult. I mean, I just still seeing the shelves clogged with He-Man and Skeletor at every Walmart I go to, and you look for all these other figures, it's completely holes, and you don't know when, because it's not a priority for the guys to be, we got to make sure that these figures come back in. So but any more questions?
Let me see. Hold on, because a lot was flying by. Go ahead.
Sportimus did have a comment for you, Tyler. That he just wanted to say thanks for getting him interested in Ninja. So. Oh,
hey, my pleasure. I'm glad you got excited about the character, man. It's I kind of feel like with a lot of them, just like have to say, just look at the guy. You're like, what's not to like about the He-Man style ninja? It's just, which I'm sure I know we've discussed, did him in the character bar, but we'll have to revisit him with Nathan on the podcast.
Yeah,
so
I'd be down to do that. Sportimus had a question here. Do you think the Masterverse will be as good, including quality, as the Classics line, given the $20 price point? I doubt it, because I imagine that they'll change enough stuff on each character that it might turn off a lot of people. Which doesn't make sense, because if it's too much sticking to a certain design, they'd be like, well, I already have the Classics figure. So that's another weird position that you're put in, I guess, with working on toy lines. Like, you have to make it at least a little bit different so the people aren't just getting the same figure
they seem to do it with the Star Wars. They just release the same figures over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know. But Star Wars is a trickier... Like, you think of Star Wars compared to Masters Universe, that's like two completely different...
Oh, I know, but the mentality of re-releasing the exact same sculpt with slight changes to, like details that only Joe could point out. Like, me looking at it, I would not notice it. Just knowing that they released the same figures on different cards. And, it's just... I'm not a fan of that at all.
Sportimus also asked, what is your favorite Filmation created hero or villain, like Icer or Songor, for example, and why?
Oh, there's a bunch of those. Well, Lizardman, of course, is my favorite hero. Villain, God, there's a shitload of them. Strong Arm, Icer, Mask and Chakotay, Azrog and Spydra, Dragoon, Negator and his Nerbs, Dark Dream. I mean, there's a shitload of them. I mean, there's just there's a whole slew of them. The villains, I cannot name one particular one, but we didn't get. I mean, we got outside the heroic horrors. There's some Malek from Stone Mountain. He was cool.
Malactha?
Malactha. Oh God, yeah. Malactha was a wonderful character.
I think for heroes it'd be Malactha, and evil would be Chakotay. I just always loved Chakotay. She's always so damn spooky, and would have just been an amazing figure back then. I mean, at least thank God we got her in classics, which was amazing. But yeah, I'd go with Malactha and Chakotay for my favorite villain and evil person. I mean, hero.
Evil person.
Lizard Man, yeah. I'd probably have to say Chakotay too, because she left such an impression on me as a child. Her fangs, maybe looked like she was a vampire.
Spooky and sexy all at the same time. Don't know how that was done, but somehow it was.
God, the black eyes and just Linda Garrett's voice. And I watched House Chakotay not too long ago, and God Almighty, man, like that follow me, like she says to Stanley inside the cave with that glowing like yellow visage of her face, and then it just kind of fades away into the dark. Like, son of a bitch, man. God, it was so well done by Filmation. Yeah, boy, the way she says, boy, you're like, oh man, I got goosebumps on my face, man. That was one scary bitch, dude.
That would have to be another episode that we would need to revisit and do a commentary for me.
Yeah, because we did that when Danielle came on, did part 2 with us, and God, man, no one gave a shit about our commentaries for House of Chakotay part 1 and 2. Nobody did. Yes, we got to go back and revisit it, because some of those early assholes like they're doing a commentary for an episode. That ain't toys. Fuck that.
Hey, we gave you plenty of toy talk on this episode, I feel like.
Oh, I know. That's what I just kind of feel like. So many fans are strictly about toys, and that is where their brain stops.
I get that, too.
That's fine, but we don't do this just for toys.
I know.
The mission statement is to let everyone know that there's more to this than just toys.
I get it.
Yeah.
I also understand.
I'm not going to puke, but I just...
House of Chakotay. And we have to turn the lights off, too. We'd have to do it in the dark, There
you go.
Oh, yeah. I know what I could do. Oh, I could totally do this. I could do the spooky face thing while we do commentary, It'll be so awesome, man.
That's true. I was going to say, Nathan, I'm not going to puke, but I had, I don't know, maybe 5 or some of those cookies.
See, I must have not been paying attention, because I didn't even notice each time that you were eating a cookie.
I saw him eat one cookie earlier while I was talking, which I thought was kind of rude.
Did you try one?
Yeah, I am.
Did you try one from the bigger container, or those softer? Try those.
I did not.
Yeah, she said that's the one where I ate 2 from.
I had half a chocolate cake, and I had my 7-piece Popeyes for my birthday today, so that's why I couldn't eat as much as I wanted.
Right before the podcast?
Oh shit, pretty close. It was close, really. I was trying to give a little bit of a window, but I don't think I left enough of it. So let's see if this is softer here.
I thought he was going to put it in his Modulite mask. I swear he was for a second there. He's like, I have an eating disorder. Just like I can't get it in there.
Softer?
Hold on. It's about the same.
Oh, is it? I mean, it's still good, though, right?
It's still good, though, yeah. Tell Emily
it's good when it's free.
Like I told you earlier, Nathan, you tell Emily that her cookies taste real good.
God. He said he left me that in a message on Facebook, and I'm like, don't you talk about Emily's cookies.
They taste
he was like, yeah, you did right. It tastes good there, buddy.
Oh, nice. No, that was good. Tell her I said thank you, though, really, because that's a lot of cookies, and that'll last me a couple days.
It'll last him a couple hours. Sportimus also said, Scalpor, evil buyer of toys that resells at 3 times the price.
Yeah, and it looks like a Nazi.
Well, it's funny.
Anytime I think of like Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, I always think that'd be like a great like if we were to do like a movie about guys who collect toys and they're like Indiana Jones, like scalpers would be the equivalent of Nazis in that film. Like you're constantly up against the Nazi regime or scalpers, Indiana's fedoras, like looking for like the Central Tower, and he finds it in this cave, and there's Balok outside the cave waiting to take your Central Tower and add it to his collection.
No,
and then sell it for $5,000.
There you go.
Interesting thing though about Scalpor when you're saying that, I was requested.
Oh,
it was around the time
already made
Origins. No, but when all that crazy stuff where people were buying a lot of the Origins early on and people couldn't get them or having multiples and people were getting pissed, and then they were trying to sell them in groups for 5-6 times the amount and they were getting booted from groups. People were pissed. They're like, Joe, just make us a Scalpor and get that up, start selling it. So, I mean, because a long time ago I made Snipor, which was an homage to on eBay when you bid on something and that last 3 seconds is like bid, bam, and somebody just snipes you. So I made a Snipor and put it on eBay, and then I watched people snipe for Snipor at the end. That was years ago. So, but yeah, I could always make a Scalpor. But I think that might be it, Nathan. I know there might have been some more questions. I'm not sure. I know it's getting late.
There was one more, JSP. Nathan and Tyler, are you going to get the G.I. Joe cartoon soundtrack LP?
No, whoopee fucking do.
You shut the hell up, Joe. Eat your damn cookies there.
God,
no, it would be it'd be cool. And and the way that they have a tendency to release stuff digitally and then like an LP format. I do actually have a record player. I just need to get some speakers for it and get a nice little comfy setup. But yeah, that wouldn't be a bad idea.
I'd love to have it, but I wouldn't have any way of really playing it though. I mean, I think it's awesome when they release a lot of the soundtracks from a lot of these shows and movies and stuff like that. I'd love to have it. I just don't know if I'd have Joe, how about you shove those cookies up your ass there?
You remember but it's like I remember I was like JSP, he's putting that shit in the fans of Power Facebook. When you got to think about the G.I. Joe things, like nobody cares, JSP.
JSP also said,
as if people really care about your precious Popeye's chicken talk. At least we're staying on topic of 80s action figures here. You're just like, hey, by the way, I ate shit today.
I ate Wendy's today. I got some spicy nugs and a double stack and some fries. It was tasty.
I remember Nathan came into my apartment one time and started farting real bad. He went like, "Oh man, Wendy's."
yeah, I remember that. And then there'd be times I'd fart too, and Tyler's like, "Oh, it smells awful. It smells like pineapple and little kids." I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, like stinky kids, like that you like see it like playgrounds or like in the ball pit at like a Burger King or something like that. Like the stinky kid that hadn't wiped his ass properly or something like that. That's what Nathan's farts would smell like.
Wendy's has some horrible dry nuggets. God, I hate Wendy's nuggets. Are they any better now? I ain't had them in like 6 years.
I like Wendy's nuggets. I got some sweet and sour sauce to dip them in. But JSP said that is on Amazon Music, and Grim said it's also available in digital format, so you can probably buy it on iTunes, and it's free on Spotify.
Okay, well that's cool. Well, yeah, I'd like. Yeah, there's certain pieces I really like from G.I. Joe a lot. So if it's on iTunes, which is if I buy music, it's simply through there. I'm old school that way.
And I want to say this too: if you guys have an Amazon Prime subscription, the Master Universe movie is on Prime Video that you can watch it if you have that. So if you got that and you don't want to go get your Blu-ray copy or something, you can just stream it on there.
That's something I have to do on the commentary for that because I don't like our commentary that we did for that the first time.
So we need to do a redo one down the road?
Yeah, need a redo.
Was that one that didn't really hit the spot? For some reason, people weren't tuning into that or something? I couldn't remember.
Oh, no, well, on top of that, but I just, yeah. I mean, we got a lot of episodes where people just didn't give two shits about, like, and I don't know why. I mean, I remember when me and Joe talked probably when we decided to do a discussion on the Rock Wars, like, no one's going to give a shit about that. And it did extremely well that week. And I would have thought last week's episode, in the grand scheme of things for us, that was a lot of views. Like,
you know why, right?
Don't say it, Nathan. Leave me alone.
Joe promoted it, that's why.
I always promote every episode.
I thought the days you promoting the podcast were gone the way of the dodo. I didn't think you did anything unless it was like pimping your own shit.
No, I always promote every episode and on our two main pages.
I'm just kidding. But that's always the running gag that anytime it does well, it's because Joe promoted it. I'm just joking.
Okay. Because I stopped promoting because people stopped responding because it's look at the pretty pictures and don't bother actually read why I posted it. So,
and that's the weird thing I told you. For some reason, the picture helps. When I promote when it's not a picture, for some reason it's crickets. But if I put a picture there, everybody responds.
Yeah, and I would do that every damn Facebook group on the internet that was related to him, and no one gave two shit. They just would like the picture. Like, you guys didn't bother to read this at all, did you?
Yeah, and it's like that most of the time. Sometimes, I mean, hell, I can't tell you the amount of times where I posted a custom, and in the title, I'm like, here is my latest custom figure, blah, blah, blah. And on the picture, nice big logo, Joe Model Custom Creations. And then the first comment I see is that an official figure? When was that released? I'm like, holy shit. It's right there on the picture. It says a custom. In my entire description, it says custom. What are they missing? It's like, you're not reading that? You're not seeing something on the picture? What's going on? I don't know. I don't know what happens from here to there. Sometimes it just baffles me.
It's just frustrating. I mean, that's why I'm glad I don't care about promoting anymore, because it's just insulting.
I mean,
like, if you...
it is what it is. I like seeing the sub count go up. That's been nice. And we got
it's nice to see that.
This week. And Curtis Ackerman said, it probably doesn't really apply to Joe, because Joe's probably never seen it or cares not to.
Here we go.
But Curtis Ackerman would like to see us do a commentary for Suburban Commando. I think that would be awesome.
That'd be awesome, but I don't think it...
I would have to put it on this channel, and Joe wouldn't let me do that because it's not about He-Man.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah, even though Joe likes to do episodes about him eating stuff and says that's related to He-Man, but
this tarantula was on this episode. You never
I
saw
ate
it.
giraffe balls. Some guy sent me from Guatemala. And, we might talk about He-Man if we have time.
It's something that I think I might look at doing down the road. But I would love to do a commentary for Suburban Commando.
Oh, I love Suburban Commando.
Because we can go into a long conversation about Hulk Hogan, especially during this time.
You guys could do that. I mean, I remember you did your toy finds that one time, Nathan. Go ahead. If you want to put that on here, Fans of Power, go ahead and do that. Do a Suburban.
It won't be. It wouldn't be. It couldn't be associated with anything else. Like, it couldn't be Beyond Retro and shit like that. So something like that. Like, we had some downtime to like throw it up there, kind of like how you guys did like the random episode, like 2 weeks ago, like on a Wednesday or something like that, while Nathan was off or something. It had to be something like that, when we got some time off, like around the holidays or something like that.
We'll figure it
out. But that would be fun to do something like that. Yeah.
I'll be in the chat room watching and commenting
and tell us how we're not doing it right.
No, I'll tell you how great it is, and it's amazing. It was an awesome movie, and
I mean, it's not a great movie.
He's just mad because Warrior wasn't starring in it.
God, I seen a horrible movie with him a couple of years ago. I was like, what the fuck was this? I wish I could remember it.
He was in a movie?
He was in... Yeah, look it up right now, Nathan, so people don't think I'm crazy. But he was in some movie. It was like an action movie, and it was fucking horrible.
You guys, what you need to go check out is that softcore. I wouldn't even call it.
I was hoping they were going to say that softcore
with Buff Bagwell.
I finally with what? Buff Bagwell.
Yeah, hang on, I'll find it.
First, look up the Warrior thing just to make sure, because I know there was a movie. I thought JSP, if anybody, since he knows so much stuff.
I don't remember him being in anything.
He was in a movie, and it was. I don't think he even really talked or something stupid. I forgot what it was about. It was a hot mess. I was excited, thinking, "Hey, Ultimate Warrior's in a movie. Let's check this out." Jim Hellwig, and I was like, "Oh my god! No wonder why nobody ever knew of this. It was fucking terrible." So. I thought somebody was mentioning in the chat room what it might be. I'm still waiting for Nate. You got to be able to find it, Nate.
Dude, I'm not.
Firepower?
It's something, yeah. I think that might have been it.
In 1993. Oh, yeah. Hang on. No, there's like a movie poster. Let me...
Oh, you going to pop it up here or something?
I am. Bad. Well, let me give everyone the Marcus Bagwell movie they need to go check out. The guy the guy that did this movie directed all kinds of just like shit. Let's see, is it that one? Return to Savage Beach. There you go. It's Andy Sedaris.
Yeah.
So he made all kinds of like skin flicks back in the day, but
you just beat JSP because JSP did pop up.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this image up, but yeah, look at Warrior right there.
I know you think he talked, but yeah, JSP said firepower.
With Chad McQueen from Karate Kid.
It was bad. If you want to watch 5 minutes of it, see what you could stomach, Tyler, before you turn that fucking thing off. Oh, it's not good.
I'm not that bored, Joe.
You ain't shitting. I was excited until I saw.
Gary Daniels. It's a Gary Daniels movie too. Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that one. I don't need to see that.
It's a good decision.
Yeah, it wouldn't let me.
That had to be something I had to watch with Nathan like at 12 o'clock in the morning when I can't keep my eyes open and he's just making fun of anything and everything on the screen.
Yeah, I can't get it up there.
Oh wait, well JSP just mentioned, he said, "Get me out of here now." He said that was all he said the entire movie. Yeah, I thought he was mute and barely talked. So there, he said one line the whole movie. Fantastic. So, all right, well, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. We did a lot of rambling. It was cool. It was fun. So if you are new to this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and ring that bell so you can always be notified when we go live. And until next time, have a powerful day.
If you will not turn to the dark side, then perhaps she will.
That was Darth Vader from Return of the Jedi.
All right.
Rest in peace, David Prowse.
David Prowse. Man.
We met him at a convention, and it was awesome.
Our first one.
Yeah, he told, I'll make this very brief, he just basically told a story about how Christopher Reeve was an asshole, and I've never heard anyone say a bad word about Christopher Reeve.
Yeah.
So to hear that, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. That's different.
Yeah, and he was pretty emphatic, but he seemed very calm about when he. But because that was
Those two things I never put together ever is that combination. Christopher Reeve and asshole. I couldn't even picture.
Oh yeah, he gave us like a full story of like being on the set of Superman and coming back from a bodybuilding competition, and Chris like just chewing him out on the set, and Richard Donner's having to let go and like just cater to what he wants. And he said when he had his horseback accident, he didn't feel bad for him at all. Like,
ooh, yikes, man! He must.
I
have
was
really
like, this is Darth Vader telling us that, man.
Yeah, so lots of
he went the dark side that day.
Lots
Jesus
of bad
Christ.
there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guess so.
He was so cool. I went and talked to him in like the lobby like the next day when I went down to have breakfast, and it's just like talking to David Prowse, and it was just this is just so cool. I'm just talking to him, like just hanging out. That was awesome.
Wow. All right. Well, what a different way to end it. See you guys next time.